Hey, good morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. If you could do me a favor, always, and hit the share button. I would appreciate it very much. It would be a great Christmas present. 60 degrees on Christmas? Probably not, but within a couple of degrees of that in a lot of places. So that makes it so that we have to think about that at least. And by the way, most of the record high temperatures for Christmas are low to mid 60s. So if we hit the 57, 58 in a lot of places, we probably still won't set a record high temperature for Christmas, but it will be very close. And that also means that it's going to be really tough to have ourselves a white Christmas. Let's get into it. The good side of this is if you have travel plans prior to the holiday, you pretty much have no problems except maybe the Rocky Mountains, Central Rockies, and maybe the far west coast for flights. But otherwise, very good driving conditions around the Midwest and whatnot. Let's say hi to some folks. First off, AJ Johnson, thanks for watching. And Rick Cruz, good morning to you. Carl Yo from Lennox, sharing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, Carl Yo. You know, you're one that's always on there. I got to meet you. Someday we have to have a get-together of all the MLive Morning Weather Update people. So, all right. Radar shows there might be some patches of drizzle or light sprinkles or so through around West Branch, Houghton Lake area heading toward Tawas, but I haven't seen anything reach the ground in observation, so this might even be all aloft. Of course, while some are enjoying sunshine this morning already, don't expect it to last forever because here comes our next patch of clouds, of course. And you look off to the west into Wisconsin, it's clear and sunny. So I've got a suggestion for a new slogan for Michigan. You know how like some places in the South dwell on they get sunshine, like the Florida, the Sunshine State. How about this one for our state? Michigan, the Cloud State. Now, probably wouldn't draw a lot of tourists for that, would it? Okay, so there's the Cloud State is going to have the clouds, so enjoy the sunshine if if you have it right now. Now, look at the Pacific. It is a stormy mess. Big storm hitting the California coast right now. Jet stream to the south of that, what we call the Pineapple Express. You can see the moisture from Mexico all the way back past Hawaii. That's what comes off of the warm El Nino waters and stimulates a strong jet across the Gulf Coast of the U.S. and eventually possibly severe weather. For us, we'll watch the storm system in California, but typically those that are already wrapped up in California turn out to be a rainmaker in our region because they don't have much cold air to support them ahead of the storm, and that will be the case again. So what you're looking at here is, let me get it blown up as best I can so you can see it. And you know, this is the weather data. This is the real stuff. You watch TV and they make it easy for you. And we had to on TV because it's so quick. It's got to be easy for you. But here, you have a minute to stare at it with me. So what you're looking at, Terry, he's right. Happy holidays, Sharon Brown, to you and Laura Elworth. Good morning, Sarah Vannon. Thanks for watching. This is the MLive Morning Weather Update. with me, Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Okay, so what you're looking at is the European model, generally known as the best model, out 5, 6, 7 days, not the greatest lately, 8, 9, 10 days, and I'll show that to you later. I'm starting with what we call the initialization, so you don't have all the stuff on it. Yes, 1982, it was 60 on Christmas, and that was one of the strong El Nino years like this year. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing the pressure pattern. You're seeing the temperatures at about 5,000 feet up. The blue lines, those are cold enough temperatures for snow. The red lines, not snow and mild. So now we go in and you start to see 6-hour precipitation amounts. So today should be a dry day, I would call it, other than that little patch of sprinkles moving toward the sunrise side, as we call it. You might not know about that on the west side. You think you're fancy. Well, we got the sunrise side over here, Tawas and Oscoda and Alpena. So dry today, dry tomorrow, great travel conditions. Note the colder air starting to erode away. This is Friday afternoon, so that precipitation down in Iowa and Illinois and Missouri, look at the temperatures aloft, warm enough for supporting all rain. And this is Friday afternoon and evening. We'll look closer in just a moment. And then this is Friday night, and that's rain shower activity. Not a lot, but enough to say it's showering into Friday night. That's Saturday morning, and then it moves on to the east. Now, this is where Christmas gets interesting as far as flirting with 70 degrees. Okay. Hey, good morning, Rena Coble. Karen Montford, thanks for watching. And Susan Wallace, howdy. So this is Christmas Eve day. We're seeing that storm system move out of California toward us. This is Christmas morning. We're in the warm sector of a storm. There could be thunderstorms in the south, Alabama, Mississippi, and there's just no cold air. So oftentimes, there's a cold front working its way southeast at the same time, and the question is, does the cold air make it in before the moisture moves out? But in this case, the cold front is just stalled because the storm center is pulling up to our west, much like it would in maybe fall or spring. This is midday, Christmas Day. Southern 2/3 of the state could still be in the dry slot. Warm air ahead of it with a light southerly wind. That puts you in the mid to upper 50s and makes you flirt with 60 if you get some sunshine in there. Christmas night, eventually rain showers shift through, and then does colder air work in? Well, remember I told you this model, when you get out 7, 8, 9 days, we find that it kind of has a cold bias in that it wants to bring the cold air down, and it does for around the 27th, but you know, it probably will not look like that. It might be cold, it might be some snow showers, but there's the bulk of the moisture is gone. All right, now what about a white Christmas? So, you know, I'm writing about this right now, but you guys kind of get a sneak preview of what I'm going to write about and present on MLive during the day. White Christmas. Will we have a white Christmas? Well, obviously I just showed you temperatures that will not support flakes flying in the air. But us meteorologists, we have to get sciencey. We have to do this so we can verify things. We have to give White Christmas a definition. And Noah's definition, not Noah, the biblical character, but NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, National Weather Service, says the definition of a white Christmas is 1 inch of snow on the ground at 7 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day. So I figured we'd look at the snow depth forecast. Okay, and so obviously some of us have some snow on the ground right now from the snow we had, on Monday. But note as we get into the weekend, it starts to warm up. That starts to go away. Now we go to 7 a.m. Christmas Day. And, you know, you might find an inch on the ground in parts of the UP. You might find a little patch of a hill around Gaylord or Kalkaska that still has an inch of snow, but otherwise the rest of us, nope. You're going to have to go to the mountains of Colorado and Wyoming and Utah and Idaho to find a white Christmas, and maybe places in New York will have some old snow from what they've been getting here in the last day or so. Now, let's look at these temperatures, okay? Hey, Susan Wallace, thank you very much for sharing. Now, 60 degrees on Christmas, so here we go. We're again using the European model, and high temperatures today will flirt with 40 degrees. Tomorrow, again, flirt with 40 degrees. Even up toward Traverse City, you're going to look at 38 degrees. Friday, 44, Grand Rapids. 42, Lansing, Jackson. 42, Ann Arbor and Detroit area. 41, Saginaw. 39, Bay City. Saturday, 44 in Grand Rapids, but 46 in Kalamazoo. So let's call it mid-40s from basically about Clare southward. And let's call it low 40s in the northern half of lower Michigan. Look at the UP. Let's call it 40 degrees. Christmas Eve day, 51 Grand Rapids, 53 Kalamazoo. Near 50, Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, Ann Arbor, Detroit, near 50. Uh-oh, Rose McGill Mitchell, watch out. I love the no snow Christmas. Yeah, it's, well, it is what it is. Fortunately, we cannot control it, because if we did control the weather, then we'd have a political mess on our hands either way. So this is Christmas Day. High temperature forecast, and it looks very plausible. I would call it in the 50s, and I would say if you're dry, you make it to 57 or 58. That's, almost all the way up to, again, Mount Pleasant and Clare, all the way through the Thumb, through the Detroit, Ann Arbor area, Grand Rapids, Lansing. If there's a chance to hit 60, it's probably somewhere like Kalamazoo or Jackson. Traverse City, 52 degrees. But remember, we have been in the low to mid 60s on Christmas Day. Now look at the day after Christmas. Again, temperatures in the upper 50s. This could be kind of deceiving because it could be a midnight high temperature and then slowly falling temperatures. But look, even 2 days after, as the storm system approaches and we're in rain, we're in the low 50s and upper 40s in a lot of places. Traverse City still in the upper 40s. So let's find some cold air. Remember, 9 days out and 10 days out, the European could be too cold. Drops us into the mid 30s by December 28th, and by December 29th, it wants to take us to below freezing. Certainly plausible, but when I look at the ensemble mode of this European and the ensemble mode of the US model, it doesn't bring us that cold. So here's the new snowfall expected through Christmas. A tenth of an inch across the UP and far northern lower, and again, that will be gone because of the warm temperatures. And then finally, a 6 to 10 day forecast for you. You know what that looks like, way above normal high probability. And then some moisture around, and then the 8 to 14 day forecast through January 2nd. Still, no change to anything that looks like a harsh winter pattern. And I think we'll get into the first week of January, and then we'll see what the pattern looks like for a couple of weeks of January and generically into early February. And then, I don't want to use the term put a fork in it as far as winter, because I know we will have winter, but if we don't see anything that's extremely cold in January or early February, you know, as in maybe 5 degrees colder than normal, you know, high temperatures for several days in the 20s. If we don't see anything like that coming, then you got to figure we're probably not going to get there this year. And remember, we got the 1-2 punch on against winter this year. Strong to very strong El Nino, which appears to have peaked in strength, but its effects will carry for a couple of months. And then, of course, we have the warming global situation, the warmer oceans. We focus a lot on El Nino and this patch of large water, 3 times the United States, that's warmer than normal. But we forget about the North Pacific is warmer than normal. The North Atlantic is warmer than normal. How do cold pockets develop over large areas of the ocean when those waters are warmer than normal? And then the polar regions are warming up. So, you know, where does our cold air come from? Our source regions, as us meteorologists call it, are kind of dwindling or something like that. So there you have it. I guess we'll dwell on the positives. Traveling should be excellent as we go into the first half of the holiday period. The second half of the holiday period might have a few spots with some travel issues, but still overall excellent. And think back to last year, we had the pre-Christmas blizzard approaching at this time, wind and cold and bursts of snow and blowing snow, and it was a pretty rough travel period for several days there. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great day. Bye.